Hey guys, and now I have a book. It's really controversial, but we're going to read it anyway, called Dwarf Planets by Nadia Higgins. In 2006, a group of astronomers shocked the world. The space scientists changed the way people thought about our solar system. For years, tiny Pluto had been the ninth planet from the sun. But now, scientists are finding out that other space objects seem a lot like Pluto. Could they all be planets? No. A new category was needed. Pluto and other similar bodies were now dwarf planets. There are 3 rules for dwarf planets. Scientists have named 5 dwarf planets. Each is smaller than a planet, but bigger than other space objects. All 5 dwarf planets are smaller than Earth's moon. So here's our moon, and these are the dwarf planets. How do scientists know what counts as a dwarf planet? They follow 3 rules. First, a dwarf planet has to orbit or travel around the sun. Moons twirl around planets, so they are not part of this group. Second, a dwarf planet has to be round in space. Only objects of certain size form into balls. So a dwarf planet's roundness shows that it is over a certain size. How round do they have to be? Some scientists say the rules for dwarf planets aren't clear. For example, the dwarf planet Haumea is shaped like an egg. Third, the dwarf planet shares its path around the sun with other objects. This shows it's not as big as a planet. A true planet would not have other objects share its orbit. True planets are so big that all objects in their path are pulled in by their gravity. Both Pluto and Eris cross the orbit paths of other planets. That shows they are dwarf planets. Dwarf planets share several traits with planets because they orbit the sun. They have years. Each year equals 1 trip around the sun. They also spin like tops. 1 spin equals 1 day. Most dwarf planets also have moons. There's Ceres, Eris, Haumea, Makemake, and our favorite Pluto. Ceres is both a dwarf planet and the largest asteroid. This rocky ball travels the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Scientists think an ocean lies under its surface. Ceres is the smallest and closest dwarf planet. It is about the size of the state of Texas. 4 other dwarf planets are far out in the Kuiper belt. This region is about 40 times as far from the sun as Earth. Out here, 1 orbit takes hundreds of years. It is so cold this far from the sun that several kinds of ice cover these dwarf planets. They shine in the distant sky. New Horizons spacecraft. The icy edges of our solar system probably host hundreds of dwarf planets. The spacecraft New Horizons is on its way to the Kuiper belt. What exciting new facts will it show us about dwarf planets? Half-worlds. Dwarf planets may be leftover pieces from when the planets formed. These mini-planets may teach us more about the solar system's early days. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed Dwarf Planets by Nadia Higgins.